Y'all, I finally did it. I finished the book. I bought this the week it came out. It came out like maybe 4 months after I moved to London. And it was like 18 bucks at Waterstones. And I finally finished it 3 years later. I mean, this is a hefty book. Now that I'm not working, it was my goal to finish this book. And it's really hard to sit and read it all through, even though it's really good. It's actually very, very engaging, but it's just, you get a lot of dense information about people and you're learning a lot. And it's like, it's very, this man, oh my gosh, like he has done so much, and he gives you the inside scoop on everything that you don't really get the inside scoop on. And it's not just the royal family. I think it's been the media is really weird in terms of the reviews. When I talk to people, when I read reviews, it's all about the family, and he's telling all, and he's giving away private information about the family. And it's like, it's so much more than that. Like, the most interesting part of this is when he talks about his military experience and like his day-to-day life of what he learned, how he learned how to fly an Apache helicopter, what he had to do while he was waiting, the places he's been during the, like when he was in Afghanistan. Like, that to me was very insightful. It was actually like giving you the inside scoop of like what it feels like to have comrades, how like rough they live. Like, he doesn't even get into the Meghan stuff until like the end of the book. But even the way he talks about how he fell in love with Meghan is so like, wow, like he really fell in love with, like, obviously he was attracted to her, but like he really emphasizes her heart. And I feel like that's just so, for me as a woman, just to even see that it's possible for a man to fall in love with someone, not just like someone and whatever, but has obviously had a lot of ex-girlfriends, but he doesn't speak about them in the same way he speaks about Meghan. It seems like the thing that made him really feel like Meghan was different was her heart and how she exercised it and how she was constantly given and very generous. So when you read this book and you finally read it towards the end, it makes you so confused, because every time I talk to people, especially while I was reading it, especially here in London, people that I would think would be super progressive, a lot of people here in London seem to really dislike Meghan. And it's not even just like a, oh, I don't like her. It's like a very passionate response against her. And I found it very confusing, because as an American, it's kind of like, but she hasn't done anything wrong. If anything, it's kind of cool. Like, her story is really unique. You know, it seems like her and what's his name seem to be a good match for each other. They're both like, you know, free spirits, and they kind of had that Diana-esque, you know, traits to them. So it doesn't like, and it doesn't seem like she's done anything wrong, but it's very clear how much she's been attacked in the media, especially around the racist stuff. Like, to me, and maybe because I'm a Black woman, the algorithm of all the stuff that surfaces about her is how racist the media has been towards her. And so when I'm reading reviews about the book, and when I talk to people and they're saying that they don't like her, I'll ask them, what did she do? What is it that makes you not like her? And they'll be like, I don't know. She just doesn't seem real. She just doesn't seem authentic. Or but it's like, there's no like concrete reason. And it's really weird to me. And it's like, oh, okay, like, does the rest of the royal family feel real? Because to me, they seem very poised and like, you know, if anything, not lack of expression. Like, I feel like they're putting on an air as well. So I was like, isn't that kind of normal? Like, public figures tend to, like, you know, be a little bit, well, in their case, repressed, but at least she kind of shows us something, and it's nice and it's positive. Like, why is that such a crime? Or why does that make you hate her? It doesn't make sense to me. Very clear, like, towards the end, when he talks about the family, he's missing a lot of context. Like, I feel like, okay, something doesn't feel straight here. He first talks about how he's trying to give them like a balanced view of his brother, like the way he really wants to be very close to his brother, but then at the same time, like, sometimes the brother's mean to him and physically violent with him, but then sometimes the brother will say the right thing and he's happy about it. So it kind of goes hot and cold in terms of like, I don't understand, like, are they friends with you, or are you not? So there's some kind of inconsistencies there when he talks about his relationship with his brother. Nothing he shared about the family feels like how dare you say that? If it, maybe some parts it can be like funny, like when he talks about his dad, you know, now the king, like, hangs upside down to to help his blood circulate or something like that in his bedroom in his underpants. Like, that was funny, but it's not like it's not like anything that makes you change. Like, if anything, he humanized the family a lot. Like, he humanized them, and it's like, I feel like we could all relate to it. He made it feel very relatable in the sense of like, yeah, we all have dysfunctional families, we all have like competitions in some way, or you know, like arguments or fights, like, and it's not even like you can't even fault him for saying stuff about the family, because he says even more embarrassing things about himself. Like, he says things about himself that are like, ooh, like, you could have hid that part, like that looks embarrassing on you, you know. And he's very open in general and very transparent with his you know, experiences and stuff like that. So it's hard to, like, I don't know, I just feel like it's weird when I see reviews that over sensationalize, like, oh, he's painting Meghan as a victim, and it's like, oh, Meghan seems like, it's like, wow, the lack of compassion. And like, I feel like they kind of further prove his point, what he makes in this book about how the British tabloid is kind of like the root of all evil, is basically essentially the whole premise of the book. But it does it through the lens of taking you as a regular person of what it's like to live in the royal family, what it's like in terms of like the business operations of it, understanding, you know, the relationships with the tabloid, understanding what military service is like. That was a huge one for me. I never understood that. And even his perspective of like working with Americans and, you know, partnering with that and what they look like on the ground, that was interesting to me. The veteran stuff, like a lot of the work he did to like create the Invictus Games, which modeled after like having veterans, giving them basically their own like Olympic or competition stuff, and how impactful that was for a lot of the veterans who were feeling depressed or dealing with PTSD, for them to see other veterans competing and, you know, doing the impossible with like one limb or whatever, and that renewing their spirit. Like, that was so cool to hear, to see, like, to understand a little bit about celebrities like Tyler Perry and Oprah and all of them, and how they played a role in helping them, you know, during a very scary time when the royal family was trying to, maybe not the family itself, but like the administration around the family was trying to exercise control. I think we can all relate to that in some way, shape, or form of, you know, when you're like in corporate, they underestimate your ability to be resilient. And so they strip away all the benefits thinking that they can make you come back, when in actuality, you're going to stand on your own 2 feet. So I feel like that resilience and that, like, I don't know, it just feels like it was such a very human book, and I'm really excited to hopefully they do another one later, 20 years from now, because he talks about, like, you know, what happened when his grandmother died and all that, but it kind of ends there, and it's kind of becomes more of like a sequence of events rather than like a reflection. And I don't know, I feel like I really want to read a book about Meghan now and her experience through everything, but I feel like he did such an articulate job of just being like just showing you the world through his eyes, the Princess Diana, a lot of these huge world events through his eyes, through someone who was actually in it, not through tabloids, not through third-party resources, but someone who was actually in it, living it, and emotionally impacted by it, was such a unique perspective, and I feel like enhanced my worldview a lot. So I highly recommend this reading, ultimately, especially for American coming to London, because I do think it does shift your understanding about how about everything, about how our world works. And yeah, what a unique vantage point to get to, like, that's such a huge gift that he gives us, like, to be able to, yeah, like, just from all the different things he's done, it's like you don't get a book like this from someone so high up, from someone who's supposed to be in such a very secretive experience, like learning about the history of all the king, like, it was just really good. I highly recommend. I don't know how to explain it. It's just good.